Welcome to the AI Hub, a podcast for AI-driven side hustles designed for IT professionals like you.
From cutting-edge AI tools to practical, no-nonsense tips, each episode brings you closer to turning tech into income.
Tune in to discover smart and sustainable ways to boost your career and income with AI.
Welcome back to AI Hub, the show that, dives right into AI. I'm Larry.
And I'm Amanda.
I'm ready to unpack all the latest. You with me?
Always.
Okay, so anyone even remotely interested in AI knows that things are moving so fast. Every week it seems like there's a new breakthrough, new algorithm, some new ethical dilemma we have to worry about. But there are certain events that act as a pulse check for the whole industry, and one is coming up soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Google I/O happens every year, their developer conference, and it's May 2021 this year. We got some early info from TechCrunch about what to expect, and, well, it's going to be a big one.
Okay, so the article talks about the basics. Shoreline amphitheater, the usual mix of sessions for the public, for developers. Yeah. And, of course, Sundar Pichai kicking things off with the keynote. But what I found really interesting is they're predicting AI is going to be the main event. Makes sense when you think back to last year.
Yeah. Last year was all about Gemini, remember? That was Google's answer to all the generative AI stuff, ChatGPT, DeepSeek.
Okay, so this is where I need you to break it down for you, because I remember the headlines, but I need the, so what? Yeah. What makes Gemini so different?
Well, it's not just about keeping up with everyone in the AI world. Gemini was designed to be this incredibly versatile platform. Imagine generating text, images, even translating languages, all from a single AI model. It was really Google flexing its AI muscles, showing they're serious about this.
So it's kind of a hey, we're here and we're playing for keeps.
Yeah.
To OpenAI and DeepSeek.
Exactly. And what's interesting is even before I/O starts, Google's already given developers some tools to play with, like Gemma, Google AI Studio. And this one I thought was cool, Notebook LM. Have you looked into these at all?
I've skimmed the descriptions. I'll admit some of the jargon kind of goes over my head. Give us the rundown. What are these and why should we care?
Okay, so let's start with Gemma. Remember how we were talking about large language models, the brains behind things like ChatGPT? Gemma is basically a toolkit for building those. So you're a developer, you have this idea for the next big AI app. Gemma gives you all the building blocks and the infrastructure to make it real.
So it's like if ChatGPT was built with Legos.
Yeah.
Gemma gives you the whole bucket of Legos and the instructions to build whatever you want.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. Then you've got Google AI Studio, which is more like a workshop for AI. It's got more tools. You're not just focused on language models. You can experiment with all sorts of AI, build things, test them, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so Gemma's for the language model experts. AI Studio is for the generalists. What about Notebook LM? That one sounds kind of mysterious.
Right, so imagine you're researching a complex topic, maybe a scientific paper, a legal document, or even a dense news article. Notebook LM is like an AI research assistant that can summarize the key points, connect it to other info, even answer questions about it in a way that makes sense.
Wait, so it's not just giving you information, it's helping you understand it all.
Exactly. Think of it like a really smart study buddy that can sift through tons of data and show you what's important.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. So Google's giving us a taste of what they can do with these tools. But I feel like they're saving the big stuff for I/O itself.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets interesting. Because the article also mentions a bunch of other tech events happening around the same time. Nvidia's GTC, Apple's WWDC.
And don't forget Microsoft Build. That one's important because it overlaps with Google I/O. Makes me think we're going to see them compete for attention.
Oh, absolutely. It's like the tech world's version of awards season. Everyone wants that headline, that viral moment. And Microsoft has been doing a lot in the AI space lately, especially with their partnership with OpenAI.
Right. And that's what makes the overlap so interesting. What if Microsoft makes some huge announcement at Build? That challenges Google. How will they respond? Will we see a bunch of AI reveals and then counter reveals?
Now that's some drama I can get behind.
It's going to be a wild ride. I think it speaks to a larger trend we're seeing, this intense competition in AI. And while that can lead to innovation, it also makes you wonder about collaboration and the direction AI development's headed.
That's a great point, and something we should definitely talk more about. But before we do, let's talk a little more about these other events. Nvidia, the kings of GPUs. Those are the engines behind a lot of AI. Then there's Apple. They might not be bragging about their AI projects.
Yeah.
But they're definitely making moves in areas like machine learning and computer vision.
Right. And while these events might not be as AI focused as Google I/O, they're still important. It's all connected. And to really get the AI industry, you need to look at the whole picture.
Okay, so we've got a lot here. Multiple events, a lot of competition, and new tools and tech coming out. But for our listeners who are like, okay, this is a lot. Where do I even start? What would you say is the key takeaway?
I think the biggest takeaway is this. Buckle up. The AI world is moving fast, and events like Google I/O give us a glimpse into what the future holds. Pay attention to the announcements, the trends, the competition. This isn't just about tech companies fighting. It's about the tools and technologies that are going to affect all our lives.
Well said. And speaking of shaping the future, you know what else is coming up? TC Sessions in June. And they're doing an AI deep dive.
Yes. TC Sessions is known for bringing together really smart people in the industry. So I'm curious, what kind of conversations come out of that event?
I'm thinking it'll be a chance to step back from all the products launches and hype and really think about AI's impact on society, the economy, our lives.
Right. It's not just about making cool new AI stuff. It's about using it responsibly, ethically, to make a better future.
Couldn't agree more. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still have a lot to discuss about Google I/O and these other events. Stay with us. We're just getting started.
Onwards and upwards.
So we talked about all these events coming up. But I want to go back to something you said earlier about an AI arms race. It's exciting, but is that really a good thing?
That's the question, isn't it? Competition isn't always a bad thing. It can really push innovation. When companies are trying to be better, faster, more efficient with their AI, everyone benefits.
Right. Competition leads to innovation, survival of the fittest, all that.
Yeah.
But could all this competition actually slow us down?
Yeah, there are definitely some risks. One is that all this competition could make companies less transparent. They'll want to keep their secrets, their algorithms, so they might not share their knowledge or work together.
So it's less about helping the field and more about who has the most power.
Exactly. And keeping things secret could slow us down. Imagine if researchers couldn't build on each other's work. If all the discoveries were locked away, that would hurt innovation.
And it's not just about science. There are ethical problems here too. If only a few companies have the best AI that brings up questions about bias, about control, about who gets to decide how this technology is used.
Absolutely. That's why events like TC Sessions are so important. They give us a chance to have these conversations. They bring together people from different fields, academics, policymakers, industry leaders, even ethicists, to talk about these issues, the impact of AI on society.
Because this isn't just about code and algorithms, it's about tech that could change the world.
And it's happening faster than people think. Look at how much has changed in just a few years. AI used to be this niche thing. Now it's everywhere. How we search for stuff, how we use our devices, how we make decisions about our health and finances.
It's kind of crazy
Yeah.
and a little scary, if I'm being honest. But I guess that's why we do this show.
Right.
To help people understand it all.
Yeah. And to help people be a part of shaping the future of AI, not just watching it happen.
So for our listeners who are feeling overwhelmed by all this, what's one piece of advice?
Stay curious. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Challenge what you think you know. Learn more. There's so much information online. Articles, research papers, online courses, communities where you can connect with other people who are into AI. The more you learn, the better you'll understand this whole thing.
Good advice. And hey, subscribing to AI Hub couldn't hurt.
Right. Of course. Got to get that plug in.
Okay, so we talked about the competition, the ethics, the need to keep learning. But let's go back to Google I/O. We know AI is going to be big there, but what specifically do you think they'll focus on?
Well, based on what they've already released, like Gemma and Notebook LM, I think they'll focus a lot on generative AI and large language models.
Right. Makes sense with all the hype around ChatGPT. They got to stay ahead. But what about other areas of AI? Any surprises?
I wouldn't be surprised. Google's involved in a lot of things. Robotics, autonomous systems, healthcare, climate change.
True. They do a lot. So put on your prediction hat. What's one crazy AI thing you think Google might show off at I/O?
That's tough. Okay, here's a wild one. I think we might see something big in personalized learning. Imagine an AI tutor. That changes based on how you learn, how fast you learn, what you're interested in. It could change education completely.
That would be incredible. You're not a fortune teller. But I have to say, that's an interesting prediction.
Let's just say Google's been putting a lot of money into this area, and they've been hinting at it.
Well, I guess we'll see what they have planned in May. But speaking of waiting, there's one more event we haven't really talked about. TC Sessions and their AI deep dive in June.
Yeah. I think that'll be a great way to follow up on everything else, to see what happens and really think about what it all means.
People see the AI world change based on what happens at these earlier events. Could Google I/O or Microsoft Build completely change things?
It's possible. One big announcement could change everything. But even if nothing groundbreaking happens, TC Sessions will be a good chance to take a step back and look at the big picture of AI.
And for our listeners going to TC Sessions, what are some questions they should be asking?
I'd say think about the long term. How will these AI advances affect our jobs, our relationships, who we are? What ethical and social problems will we have to deal with? And how can we make sure AI is used to help everyone, not just a few people?
Those are big questions, but they're the ones we need to be asking as we go into this new age of AI.
Absolutely. It's not just about the tech itself, it's about the choices we make, the values we care about, as we shape the future of AI.
Well said. And for our listeners, we want to hear from you. What are your hopes and fears about the future of AI? What keeps you up at night? Tell us in the comments, and let's keep talking about this.
We're all in this together, so let's build the future we want.
Okay, we've covered a lot today, from competition to ethics to what could go right and what could go wrong. But before we go, I just want to take a minute to appreciate how amazing all this is.
Me too. It's easy to get caught up in the hype or the worries, but really AI is about pushing the limits of what humans can do, exploring what's possible.
It's about making tools that can make us smarter, solve hard problems, maybe even help us make a better world.
And who knows what incredible discoveries are coming next? The future of AI is full of possibilities, and that's something to be excited about.
It really is. And for everyone out there who's as fascinated by this as we are, be sure to subscribe to AI Hub. For more deep dives and conversations about the world of AI, we'll be back next week with another interesting topic, so stay tuned.
Until then, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep learning.
Yeah, it really is amazing to think how far AI has come.
Like we're living in a sci-fi movie.
Right. And that's why it's so important to talk about all this, to really understand what it all means before it's too late.
Yeah.
Before it's just part of life.
I think that's the point. We're still early in this AI thing, so we have a chance to shape it, to make sure it's good for everyone.
So with all these events, Google I/O, Microsoft Build, Nvidia, Apple TC Sessions, what are you most excited about? What do you want to see from all these AI experts?
Honestly, I'm excited for the surprises, the things we don't even know about yet. That's what's so cool about this field. It never stops changing.
I gotta admit, I'm a little nervous about the surprises too. But you're right. It's what keeps things interesting, not knowing what's next.
And that's why you gotta stay curious. Keep learning. Keep asking questions. AI is gonna be so different in a few years. 5, 10, 20 years. It's up to us to make sure it's good.
I like that.
Yeah.
So for everyone listening, we challenge you to stay curious, stay informed, stay engaged. The future of AI is in our hands. Let's make it a good one.
Here's to the future.
And to all you AI fans out there, be sure to subscribe to AI Hub for more deep dives into this world. We'll be back next week with another great topic. So until then, keep exploring.
Welcome to the AI Hub, a podcast for AI-driven side hustles designed for IT professionals like you.
From cutting-edge AI tools to practical, no-nonsense tips, each episode brings you closer to turning tech into income.
Tune in to discover smart and sustainable ways to boost your career and income with AI.